A few days ago, it became public knowledge that former President Buhari appeared before the Paris court, and now we are getting information that Obasanjo is going to also testify today. The report was that Buhari was forced to appear before the Paris court. Then the presidency responded to that allegation by saying that nobody is coerced or forced to appear before the Paris court. Those people or everyone who have appeared before the courts or who are ready to testify so far are people doing it in the interest of a nation, and that nobody was coerced or forced. Mind you, for a while now, this Mambila power project, this $6 billion, has been in the front burner. It has been one of those major discussions that have been discussed since 2024. Minister for Power during Obasanjo's regime is the one that is alleged, to have signed this contract with Sunrise Power, during Obasanjo's regime. And, these people are claiming breach of contract, that they signed this agreement with the federal government, and, there was nothing to show for it. But the presidents, both Obasanjo and Buhari, are saying that they never gave a go-ahead for this project. Obasanjo, in fact, said that, when this partnership was brought to his notice, he declined. He said that, that is not one of, the agenda or one of the things that he wants to, do during his administration, and he does not know how, the Minister of Power ended up signing this contract deal with Sunrise Power. The questions on the minds of Nigerians are, is it possible for Minister of Power to just go ahead to sign a contract without the president knowing? Or is it that the president and the Minister of Power knew about this contract, but because this has now blown up in their faces, they are trying to deny it? But anyway, Buhari has denied it. Obasanjo has said as well that there is nothing of such from him. Now the question begging answers as well is also that, is it that at the end of the day our presidents are not actually corrupt, but the people working under them are corrupt? Who are we going to hold responsible? Is it that though the president is not corrupt, but at least for you to have people working under you, like your subordinates, you should be able to monitor and know everything that they are doing, even though the presidents are clean or they are not fraudulent or corrupt, but they are also responsible due to the fact that they are the head. You should know everything that is going on during your administration. Why would you say that you did not know when $6 billion Mambila project was signed? Before we delve right into the details of today's news, guys, if this is your first time here, you have not subscribed to this channel, please kindly subscribe. You don't want to miss the details we are going to be discussing in the rest of this news. Like this video, also follow us on all social media platforms as well. Without further ado, let's delve right into the details of today's news. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo will today testify before the International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, Paris, France, in connection with the $2.3 billion arbitration proceedings filed against Nigeria by Sunrise Power over an alleged breach of contract by the federal government. Newsroom Nigeria had on Monday reported that both Obasanjo and former President Muhammadu Buhari were in Paris because of the case. On Tuesday, the chairman, CEO of Sunrise Power, Leno Adesanya, testified before the ICC in connection with the $2.3 billion arbitration proceedings its company filed against Nigeria. Obasanjo, in an interview he granted the cable in 2023, queried his former Minister of Power, Olusegun how he got the prerogative to award the contract to Sunrise in 2003. When I was president, no minister had the power to approve more than 25 million naira without express presidential consent, it was impossible for Agoloye to commit my government to a $6 billion project without my permission, and I did not give him any permission. If a commission of inquiry is set up today to investigate the matter, I am ready to testify. I do not even need to testify because all the records are there. I never approved it. When he presented his memo to the Federal Executive Council on May 21, 2003, I was surprised because he had previously discussed it with me and I had told him to gestation the idea, that I had other ideas on how the power sector would be restructured and funded. I told him as much at the council meeting and directed him to step down the memo. I find it surprising that Agunloye is now claiming he acted on behalf of Nigeria. If I knew he issued such a letter to Sunrise, I would have sacked him as minister during my second term. He would not have spent a day longer in office, the former president said. Reacting to Obasanjo's claims, Agunloye had said the government was not compelled to pay any amount to Sunrise under the Build, Operate and Transfer BOT agreement. He said the arrangement remained as it was to be fully funded by the newly registered company, whose declared assets were worth less than $2,000 at the time. Sunrise on October 10, 2017, started the arbitration against Nigeria at the ICC Paris, seeking a $2.354 billion award for breach of contract in relation to a 2003 agreement to construct the 3,050 megawatt plant in Mambila, Taraba State, on a build, operate and transfer basis valued at $6 billion. A former Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babajide Fashola, in 2017 had described Sunrise Power as a middleman. The minister had said the Buhari administration was directly contracting the engineering, procurement and construction EPC contractor, Shino Hydro Corporation Limited, a Chinese firm currently handling the project. After several negotiations, a former Minister of Power, Saleh Mahmoud, had in 2020 reportedly said the parties had reached an out-of-court settlement of $200 million. The court battle took a new turn when Sunrise later filed a $400 million compensation claim at the ICC against the government for breaching the new agreement. The company had said the sum was to serve as an out-of-court agreement, which the government allegedly failed to honor, as it had agreed to pay in 14 days after it was signed by a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami and Saleh Mahmoud for the government and the chairman, CEO of Sunrise Power, Leno Adesanya. The company's legal representative, Femi Falana, then filed a lawsuit at the International Court of Arbitration in May 11, demanding $400 million as overall claims, including penalties. According to Sunrise, in its claim document, the amount was to be paid within 14 days of the execution of the terms of the agreement on January 21, 2020, along with a 10% penalty if there is a default in the settlement terms. The company had also said it was agreed in the pact signed that it would be restored as the local partner for the current $5.8 billion Mambila power project. A follow-up on this showed that the pact was revised and the local partner condition was removed. The federal government later requested a review of the negotiation, citing the COVID-19 pandemic effects on the Nigerian economy. You all, what are your thoughts? Let's have them in the comments section below. What do you all think of this? We have a comment here that says, Nigeria, run for your dear lives. Nigerians, run for your dear lives. The gamblers are on it again. Thank you very much for always listening and watching. This is where I'm going to draw the curtain for now, guys. I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.